Yar, I guess the black and white was in me all along. I am gonna say something racist though, but first I want to say I'm filming this on my Samsung Galaxy. As a black hole in the center of the Milky Way projected upon a human consciousness, I don't understand the holographic principle more than most people. I do not know how they got Tupac to dance like that. And with that out of the way, black people, not Negroes as I define them, but black people, you know who you are. What to do about these mulattoes? They don't like that word, and this time around, that's your deal. Anytime white people get involved, it's a mess. Cute babies, though. Baby Spice is white? That's Snaggletooth? I thought that was a Logic thing. Well, he talks about it in a lot of his songs. Sup, noobs? Looks like this pirate pushed old Dale south the clock tower, and now I'm in the crow's nest whipping up an omelet. Still swinging, still like to dance. Grab my belt and let's start the show. Sup, noobs? Get over those splattered remains, Guffy, because I don't share my eggs. What am I, Sam I am? I would not like to be Sam I am. I would like to meet with Michelle again, but Sammy is a little young for my taste, regardless if men far older pay her to undress. So I'm not Sam I am. I'm a broke dude out here acting like Captain Save-A-Ho, and I'm no captain, I'm a first mate. To enough women to know, but I've grown, and now I can do that without sex. Abroad coming, and don't touch me as we set sail. With me, the untouched first mate, Greatbeard. Kesha likes it. You may think a string of Kesha jokes is on the way, but that's just the name I was given. From the Massachusetts, Kesha likes it. I took their identities after a particularly lucrative peer-to-peer fishing scheme. Just trolling. I was jealous of their sailboat. And on my lonely island, I have plenty of time to be jealous of electric guests. Doesn't go well with salt water. But I have nothing but respect for Kesha. We deal with a lot of similar issues. Do you feel like the party had started before you found this YouTube channel? I just hope we got here before Pink hit menopause, or after. The dance floor is a terrible place for a hot flash unless you pull a flash dance, and suddenly that makes a lot more sense. Pink, if you're out there is a place I know if you're looking for a show. The Mediterranean Sea, home to several of the Greek islands, the best part of Italy, Venice, Delta of the Nile, the ruins of Noah's Ark, probably Atlantis, or are we just gonna admit aliens are time travelers, and they were trying to explain why not to build Dubai like that? Dubai Islands? I'm going back to Santorini, perhaps on a cruise. Not Terry Crews, he's been through enough. Tom Cruise is actually way cooler than you think. Like, the pressure he's under from that sea organization he represents is more immense than being the first astronaut. So what do you know about rolling down in the deep Chinese, man? I can say that, they're French. It's almost like I have nothing but respect for Terry Crews. I too have the impulse to yell at men about their hygiene, but I like the discipline, which brings me to philosophy too. I've said nothing bad about Abby this whole time besides being British, which if you notice, isn't geographically near where I'm talking about this episode, because we're breaking her out. Operation Free Abby starts now. Typical white guy style and planetarian this shit the fuck up, we're gonna get one of each of them. Yeah, I'm the only white guy. It all started after I accurately predicted the poster I had seen for Lollapalooza when the Time Lazy Dipshits had me predict what would happen in Chicago. Celebrities lined up for a gander at the Holy Ghost. It was quite irritating. The Time laser was in full swing, and I knew the events I was witnessing had yet to transpire, and anyone I was interacting with through the black dot had much more information about their situation than I did. I've had a conversation before, but this was no conversation. This was several conversations, and me trying to find the meeting acceptable behavior to give people in the black dot, or as I like to call them, time travelers. I mean, somehow those celebrities did tunnel to the past. Total head trip, but not anything worth doing the way we were all forced to do it by the Time Laser Dipshits. Imagine if the wizard tried to form the Slut Dragon in Rick and Morty. I'm a wizard, and you see me out here doing that? Well, apparently if you're in a psychic foursome and you say, hey, why don't we hang out with Tesha and Abigail Thorne? We're already psychically linked to the fun club called the Dykes, who have too many dicks and not enough balls. Well, you say that, the people get the impression that you're some sort of sex cult leader. And to that I say, I haven't gone anywhere. They lead themselves to me, and I lead the people to Tito. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't undercut the seriousness of the last couple episodes with product placement, and it is truly breathtaking to see how far you've fallen. I never had a sponsorship, and I owe them nothing. This is what the system has done to you? I'm just a guy. I should be fixing my car, but this is more important. You matter to me, Guffy, or whatever you are this week, so take the edge off and get your game on with a delicious Tito's Red Bull and vodka. Remember, rules are for squares, especially if they're chiseled on them, but if you have to pick one, you can't go wrong with Tito's. So somewhere I had gone wrong in being so agreeable to women, even some who are hotter as dudes. And I have a video titled Turf Schmurf, so it may be time to discuss feminism. Not gonna do it. See, I'm not a feminist. but you don't have to be a feminist to support their cause. And that's how you do that, Dave Chappelle. White man wins again. I can say that. I'm the only one. And definitely not a feminist. If I was a feminist, why would I want my women to have penises? All I want to do is smoke weed and eat pussy. Unfortunately, smoking weed doesn't leave you with the kind of mouth that pussy wants to be around. I never got that. You don't have to taste it. And I want to. But I liked it in the backside too. So it helps to have a lady that stays strapped. Man up, ladies. Abby nailed it. And if I ever want to get that interview, she's gonna need to get the hell out of Britain. What better place than Israel to start the success? I don't know a lot about Israel or Palestine, but I feel strongly about both. I strongly feel that this is the funniest joke to tell about the situation. I asked Jesus if she had been home lately. She said, yeah, they built this wall, and I kept asking which side was I on. But they don't care about that. What they care about is housing. Housing for who? The future. This is the homeland. And what runs around at home? Not you if you know what's good for you. There's a pool here, and restaurants, and all your friends, and a theater, and a movie theater, and a casino, but you're too young for that. Jeez, those lady pirates are something else. Welcome, every guppy, to Project Orca! This is where I want your imagination to run wild. How would you, Israel, take over a cruise ship? More importantly, how would you, Palestine, get it on land? Once you both do, 1,000 people home instantly. Instant 15-minute city. All yours for the taking. Israel ideas? Palestine ideas? You might have to work together on this one, but you'll have a shitload of housing real quick. Best part is, this is what the US was planning on doing with Gaza once it was bulldozed, so just beat them to it. Furthermore, all the cruise companies ran to tax havens in the Cayman Islands. We don't rent them. Los Angeles is going to do the same thing, and you know how they like their gold rushes. You're going to lose that twice? We'll deal with the Swiss later. And what are they going to do? Tell Barbados? Barbados doesn't give a shit. You know who does? Your next door neighbor. The best part of Italy. Cruise ships are literally sinking Venice, and will be what sinks Dubai if that was the plan. So not only will you be beating the US at its own game, with their money, you'll literally save the sea you reside by, and here's the best part. Israel, the state, gets lumped in with the religion, and the Jewish people do have a home there, but what the Jewish people outside Israel don't have is security culture. Israel fucking nailed that, but they export that to governments in the form of military and police training. Big mistake. Governments are poor shit. People on cruises, less so. The people they steal shit from, even less so. And if they get hijacked, they gotta go through your airport, which is better than theirs. This after you've proven the lapse in their security culture and demonstrated your engineering prowess while being heroic. And now you send them off with a pat on the back in the best airport they've ever flown in? Get right out of town. These Jews are alright. And naturally people will see this. That's why Christianity spread in the first place. They just couldn't figure out that shaka shuka sauce, but they wanted it for themselves. And we all know what that is. Or you do if you know what's good for you. That's correct. The constant chefs of my favorite meal. A lot can happen in a little while when you're good at what you do. So as military service is compulsory of the men, I think pirate service would be dope for the women. Set sail, ladies, and let's get to those cruise liners. Don't like the sea? Landlubber crew. Schmang! Women in STEM. Saudi women could take driver's ed on the go-kart tracks. Remember, this is a maternal society, so now Kurdish forces are helping out. Now that they're bored, now that ISIS is in Britain. Well, the ones that aren't in Britain. And speaking of Britain, I said this one's not about you. Free Abby!